So now the biggest question is, how was my experience so far being the only Malaysian delegate invited to the Stanford Summit? Well, throughout the summit, we have had the experience of going through the classes taught by distinguished Stanford professors, book authors, researchers. We've also had the privilege to actually go through seminar series, speaker corners, where Stanford, being located in Silicon Valley itself, featured a lot of prominent entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and also researchers that are very prone towards entrepreneurship. But how was all this experience so far? Well, it's a little bit overwhelming coming from a Malaysian culture, because you can really see that Stanford students here are very outspoken, and if you put them in a group project with students from other universities, it's highly likely that you'll be able to spot them, because they're loud, they tend to contribute points which they are really confident of. So I think these are the few characteristics that needs to be inculcated among our Malaysian students in our education or even higher education system. So that's one. That is, students here are more outspoken. They're more confident. Well, basically, if you come from Stanford, right? But the second reason as well is also the academics here tend to challenge you more rather than, I'm just going to get into the shade, tend to challenge you more than to agree with you. And they tend to prompt you to think more than to ask you academic questions and to see whether if you can get the questions right or wrong, you see. So the thought process here is that, well, no opinions are wrong. Each opinions which are shared by students are justified, and this really starts the whole brainstorming process going on. So that's the second part, where the academics here do not teach values or information out of the textbook. They challenge you to think. Third one is that there's a lot of industrial links here. I was in a seminar series yesterday, and you could actually see where a VC, a venture capitalist from one of the biggest firms in the world, who invested in companies like Google, Amazon, actually commented that Stanford, being in Silicon Valley, has managed to use its strategic ties to get their students to work in startups. Now, Stanford prides itself on producing entrepreneurs, right? So what better way to create entrepreneurs than to have their students during their university years work in startups? So all these industrial links and the understanding towards the ecosystem really helps. And it's the university that went out and built these relationships, that built this system with the interested parties to actually get their students connected to opportunities even before they graduate. So that's the fourth point. Now, the fifth point is that there are a lot of industry exposures here. They've got speakers coming in to speak. They've got professors, visiting professors from the top schools at Harvard, Wharton, coming to speak. This is a huge opportunity for students not only to understand different perspectives coming from academics, industry people, and also researchers done around the world, but at the same time it gives them a sense of belonging, a sense of a association with all these top business schools, these top universities around the world. And for Stanford, it positioned itself as on par with all these guys. So I believe this is one of the few things that we in Malaysia can learn. The sixth and final point of my observation here while going through classes here in Stanford is that they used a lot of case studies. And what happened is that through these case studies, they prove, the academics and also the students alike, they try to prove that certain theories do work in the real world while certain theories do not. So I believe this is it's a strong methodology to allow the students to envision, to put an image on theories which are merely theories, and actually explain to them how these theories work in real life. And just to add on that as well, internet resources were used, magazine and journals, which really keep all these students and academics up to date towards forming their teaching materials and to actually learn the latest knowledge to apply in their studies, and also to use them in their work or when they're spearheading a startup. Well, so far that's my observation while being here in Stanford, where a lot of case studies were used. There's a lot of industry exposure, there's a lot of linkages with international and local prestigious universities where they share talent in teaching, research. There's a lot of speaker series, a lot of student activities to keep the student abreast of what is going on. And what's more importantly as well, the methodology of how they teach students is not asking or demanding a right answer. It's about asking why not and challenging their perceptions or thoughts on a provided answer. Well, here am I. Here's my destination for my class for this morning. The first class on green technology. So I hope you enjoy listening to a glimpse of my Stanford experience being in the class, following the sessions. And this is Michael Teoh reporting from Stanford University in Silicon Valley, San Francisco. And I'm about to enter the building that belongs to Paul G. Allen. If you guys don't know who Paul G. Allen is, or simply Paul Allen, Google him and you'll find out. He has founded one of the most amazing and biggest companies ever in the world. So check it out. I'm signing off now. See you guys in Malaysia. Goodbye.